A pleasant evening to each and everyone. There you go. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. And once again, welcome for our awareness program for today. So there you go. Pleasant evening to everyone, to all our FB viewers, and mostly, especially to our partner, Cognizant Philippines. There you go. Kumusta po kayong lahat? And I hope everyone is safe and well. We actually really appreciate your continuous health program support for all your employees through awareness. So in spite of our current scenario right now, we can still share the learnings virtually. So far for this evening, we are here for our heat illness prevention, which is very timely, right? Because in the Philippines setup, it's summer season already. It's just that meron po tayong parating na typhoon. So everyone, please stay safe. Okay, so for now, we will be focusing already on the heat illness prevention as this is our main topic for tonight. So as you can see here, this is the definition of the heat stress. So definitely, we are actually affected because of the current weather condition that we have, because of the heat, extreme heat that we are experiencing. So what happens? Nagsasuffer po talaga yung katawan po natin dito. Our body actually affects the cooling system. So more or less, weather condition with the repetition of tasks, with the heavy workload that we have, with the humid environment, there you go. What happens when the body can't control or can't cool, hindi niya na-maintain yung right temperature natin when we are being exposed, there you go, here comes the heat stress. So what happens? Normally po talaga, we have what we call the natural process within our body to help us cool down. So more or less, kaya naman, merong process yan sa katawan natin. So example of this one would be cooling our body. That's one natural process. So pag sinabing cooling our body, more or less, we have our blood. It typically circulates. Ayan, nagfo-flow po yan within our body. So it helps to cool the temperature. More or less, it will direct more blood saan? Sa mga surface ng labas natin. So habang nagba-blood flow po yan, habang umiikot po yan, nilalabas niyan, umiibabaw po sila sa surface natin. And once it's within the surface, more or less, nilalabas niya po yan. And it's being absorbed within our environment. And again, umiikot po siya. It circulates back to pick up more heat within our body. And again, continuous flow and process niya yan. So what happens? The more na nagpa-pump out tayo ng init sa loob ng katawan, we are actually cooling off the temperature inside our body. However, because of prolonged exposure or maybe we are even dehydrated, dito na po pumapasok ang tinatawag natin na mga pawis. The sweat glands starts to work on. So pag nag-start na magtrabaho na ang sweat glands natin, it's a good thing, meaning it's a reaction in our body. So nagpo-perspire, pinagpapawisan na po tayo. So when you perspire, here comes the warm water, mainit-init na pakiramdam natin, right? But with an excessive perspiration, here comes the dehydration. Dito na po nagkakaroon ng electrolyte imbalances. There you go, sa loob ng katawan natin. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng iba't ibang mga heat stress related na mga sakit natin. Why is that? Because as we combine, as you can see here, when you combine the heat stresses, ano po ba yung examples na to? Workloads, nawawala ng tubig sa loob ng katawan natin, fatigue, exhaustion, or maybe even disability. We can't cope up with the temperature that we have. There you go. Here comes the problem. Umiinit, nagkakaroon ng extreme temperature, and we experience different signs and symptoms. Unfortunately, this can happen to everyone. Whether you're a kid, there you go, vulnerable individuals, ayan, mga iba't ibang may mga sakit po tong mga to include also with obese individuals, everyone can be affected because of the extreme temperature. So if that's the definition of our stress, it's the humid, it's the hot weather that can affect our body dahil exposed tayo for a prolonged period of time, there you go. We have some points to remember. So ano daw po ba ang sinasabi nila dito? Hot environments can be hazardous. Yes, definitely. However, the good thing here would be, if you're going to look at this, it is preventable. Mostly. Hot environments, we can actually prevent this, we can actually fix it. More or less, para maiwasan natin yung mga negative signs and symptoms na pwedeng ma-experience ng mga employees natin. So there you go. We have so many challenges because of the extreme temperature that we're experiencing. Even runners, right? Yung mga runners na to, once they are dehydrated because of the electrolyte imbalances. By the way, when you say electrolyte imbalances, these are the because of the excessive perspiration. It's the sodium electrolytes, it's the sodium, potassium coming in inside our body na wherein sa loob ng katawan natin nagkakaroon na ng imbalances. That's why the others, they experience, they even die. Lalo na pag mga unhealthy individuals, or even they're healthy but because of the dehydration, it affects them. Kung titignan natin to, no, the challenges are there. So these are the factors, contributing factors that somehow nagtitrigger to different signs and symptoms, and at the same time to the different illnesses that we experience. So one of which are the environmental factor. Extreme temp, mataas masyado ang temperature natin, to include also the humidity, no breeze, we don't experience even kahit ang malamig na hangin. So outside, very common to sa Manila setup, right? Ang init ng panahon natin. And sometimes direct din yung heat na nai-experience natin. So that's one. If our workstation or our environment is really more or less mainit yung environment natin, it's a big factor. Next would be for the worker. More or less, when it comes to the worker, these are the ones who are somehow vulnerable to hot weather. Ayan, marami po yan. When we say vulnerable, they are elderly, masyadong it comes with an age, either too young or at the same time, may mga edad na po yung mga yan. To include din po yung may mga risk factors when it comes to illnesses. Could you imagine if you are like, you are hypertension. Ayan, hypertensive ka. Tapos na-trigger pa yan ng mainit na environment. It could actually affect your current medical conditions, right? So isa din po yan na factor. High risk ng mga individuals. Isama mo pa yung mga overweight, more or less smokers. They're also affected with this one. Part of which may mga respiratory problems. May mga problema po sa baga. To include mahilig sa mga sugar drinks. That includes your soft drinks, okay? Lahat po ng mga matatamis na drinks natin. And at the same time, let's also include yung mga individuals na may mga health history. So that's for the part of the worker. And the other factor na nagko-contribute din po dito would be the amount of workloads that you do, di ba? We have like, that's why we always classify in the Philippine setup, we always classify this one. We have the light work, moderate workloads, and at the same time, the heavy workloads. In an office setup, usually, these are the light works dahil less lang ang mga movement natin. Some also would be, we have the moderate workloads, more or less, may mga push and pull works na itong mga to. And compare with the heavy workloads, ayan, you would really expect mga mabibigat, they carry a heavy item. So, madalas ito yung nasa nagtatrabaho in some heavy in construction areas. So, there you go. When it comes to work, one thing that we must have to identify and we must have to classify would be the type of workloads na ginagawa nila, the nature of work that they have, to include also the facilities, the machineries, the tools that they are using. Because as we all know, if we have those equipments, it can actually affect the environment that we have. Let's not also forget, more or less, do they have like a proper ventilation system? Do they have an open window? Do they have a natural lightings. So etong tatlong factors na to, it can really affect us when it comes to heat stress. More or less nati-trigger yung mga iba't ibang sakit natin dito. So let's take a look at this one. This is actually the graph extracted from ACGIH and at the same time within the Philippine setup, ginagamit din po natin yan sa OSH standards. So looking at this one, this is what we call the thermal, more or less. You have here the temperature, right? So kung given the example that the temperature na nai-experience natin in a room temperature would be 35 degrees Celsius and with the relative humidity, okay? With the relative humidity, nag-fall po siya, let's say, on the 70th. So kung ma-map line po natin yan, 35 to 70, magka-come up siya with 51. And pag nag-arrive siya dito sa 51, we will use somehow the computation, okay? To check bakit kino-compute po kasi natin kung ano yung init na mararamdaman ng tao with coming up with the room temperature upon measurement. And at the same time, yung init na nararamdaman nila to include maraming factors. What are the available equipments? Gaano kadami ang tao sa loob ng isang room? And then, gaano din kalakas ang air condition. So more or less, if it's within, kung titignan natin dito sa legend na to, if it falls under less than 29 degrees Celsius, then therefore, there will be no discomfort on the individuals. Pero naman, as it increases the extreme, the temperature na nararamdaman ng mga tao, there you go, from 30 to 34, somehow may mga slight sensation. Medyo ito na yung uneasy, naiinitan, and there you go. As it increases, the more na mas nagiging delikado po yan sa atin. So we really, this is one way, this is one item na lagi din sine-check natin sa workplaces, right? This is what we call the work environment measurement to check if the employees are somehow they're having the right temperature so that they will be more comfortable and at the same time they'll be more healthy sa workplaces nila. Comfortable and to promote a healthy environment na rin po. Okay. So with that temperature and with the contributing factors na nakita po natin, there you go. This is the process. Okay, we mentioned that we have what we call the natural process sa loob ng katawan natin because of the blood volume. Okay, so it cools down our body. It helps to cool down our body through the blood flow. Okay, yan po yun, no? Habang kinu-cool down niya yung katawan natin and it's continuously circulates back over to the surface of the skin. However, pag tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang exposure natin, here comes nahihirapan na yung katawan natin. So the more na nagkakaroon ng mga imbalances, that's why they advise here that as much as possible, you drink about 2 to 3 liters of water for the whole day. And it varies also. Hindi porket sinabing 2 to 3 waters for the whole day, that's enough. What if you are actually doing a heavy workloads? So the more na mas heavy ang workloads mo, the more that you must have to be increasing your water intake as well. And if you are working in an extreme temperature as much as possible, or you must have to avoid sugary drinks. Okay? These are your soft drinks. Lahat ng mga matatamis. Why is this? Because this can actually help you out to dehydrate yourself. The more kasi na nag-add up tayo ng sugar sa loob ng katawan natin or any other hot foods, spicy food, heavy foods, oily foods, inside our body, nagkikreate yan, umiinit. It adds up more heat, it adds up more fuel. So the more din na nahihirapan din yung katawan natin to adapt or to cool down yung katawan natin. So yun yung mga ibang advices nila. So with this, according to World Health Organization, there are impacts when it comes to extreme temperature. So we have here the indirect impacts, as you can see on the left side, and we have also the direct impacts. So with the direct impacts, these are the different illnesses which we are going to discuss in a little while. So here comes the dehydration, heat stroke, heat illnesses. Yan naman po kasi talaga yung common na nai-experience natin. And somehow looking at the indirect impacts, there you go, definitely if the individuals are more or less accidents prone sila for accidents, right? Because you can't focus, you can concentrate if you are in that extreme temperature, nararamdaman mo na yung iba't ibang sintomas. So tendency increased ang risk natin for some oxidants. Tendency also there will be low in productivity of our of whatever that we're of the activity or the task that we are doing. So to further discuss this one, we have here some physiology of heat stress. So more or less, this is what's happening inside our body. So habang pag mainit ang panahon, ito nga po, yung nai-experience na natin. So for 1 to 2 hours, there you go, more or less, as the temperature increases, the blood volume, nagsusirculate na nagtatrabaho na po yan sa loob ng katawan natin. Nagpa-pump out na po yan. More or less. Sige, go ahead. Palalamigin ko ang katawan mo. I'm gonna cool down yung loob ng katawan natin. That's what we call the cooling system. So nagkakaroon ng evaporation, lumalabas yung init ng katawan natin. And with that cases, nakaka-experience tayo ng what we call the heat rush and the sunburn. Okay. So if we're going to look at this one, with the heat rush, mostly I'm not sure if you are still experiencing this. Pero kung titignan nyo ito yung mga babies, right? Yung paglabas pa lang sa sobrang mainit na temperatura, they will experience the prickly heat. Ito yung mga rashes na nararamdaman nila. Okay. What do you really observe in this factor? It's more of red, bumpy, itchy. Sobrang kate din po ng mga yan. Okay? To include also, the treatment of this one would be, it's just cool it down. Rinse it with cool water. The prognosis of this one would be, it would be good. Kumbaga, okay lang to. Madali itong ma-detect. Once na nakita natin to early, pag na-detect natin yung mga yan, definitely you will be okay. The prognosis will be okay. So what are we going to do? More or less, we just rinse it off with cool water, wash it off, and at the same time we can drink water. We can hydrate ourselves pagdating dito sa mga heat rashes na to. Okay? And regularly maintain also that we have to clean our skin all the time. Otherwise, pag kinamot natin yan, it would even lead to some infection. Okay? Another thing, sunburn. As we all know, another factor would be very common naman din po sunburn. Another thing would be cause for radiation also. Lalo na kung sobra-sobra ang exposure natin dito. So ito na po yung mahapdi-hapdi pag nararamdaman nyo. It's just unfortunately nowadays because of COVID-19, wala na. Hindi na po tayo makapunta sa beach, right? So it's more or less wala na mga nasa sunburn sa atin. But with this one, it peels off, nagbe-blister pa nga yan. Sobrang hapdi din po ng mga to. So just in case you can't tolerate it already, maybe you need to seek for medical help or some advices. However, kung okay lang naman po yan, just make sure that you just wash it off with water every now and then. That's why we usually advise that whenever you are being exposed to an extreme temperature for sunlight, as much as possible, you have to put your lotion mostly 30. You have to apply this 30 minutes prior to exposure to sunlight, and it actually helps you out. Hindi lang, and then apart from this, you must have also to reapply every now and then. It varies kung ano yung SPF na mga gagamitin ninyo. Usually kasi sinasabi ng iba, I will just be applying this for one time prior to exposure. No, it should be on a continuous process. Either you will apply it on every 30 minutes thereafter para kahit papaano ma-maximize natin yung effectiveness, and we are covering and we are protecting also our skin. Apart from this, of course, wear clothing. If you can wear a long, loose, cotton type of clothing, it will help us out. Okay? So yan, etong dalawang to, very minor lang to. I mean, we can actually address this. We can cater for this one. That is if we are aware. Okay, that's for 1 to 2 hours exposure. So as you increase your exposure to the extreme environment, extreme temperature that we have, there you go, more or less 2 to 3 hours. Here comes, medyo palala na yung scenario natin dito. So as you can see here, heavy work clothes, your body can lose 1 to 2 liters of water per hour. Because imagine 1 to 2 liters of water per hour. To relate this of also on our OSH standard, there you go, particularly on our Rule 1060 for the welfare facilities. As you can see, it is included there that we must have an access to unlimited potable drinking water. So yan po yun. We have the unlimited potable drinking water, and we must have to give an awareness. We must have to give an information to all our employees that, oops, it's summertime, or maybe because of the extreme temperature that we have, you have to drink lots of water kasi prone tayo for dehydration. 1 to 2 liters is it's this is actually lots of water already. So kailangan nating tong habulin the more na umiinit yung temperature around us. So with this, what do? It's more of fluid loss na yan, extreme perspiration, we become uncomfortable. Ayan naman po yung mga nararamdaman natin. Uncomfortable, you feel like you're thirsty already, so go ahead, drink glass of water. What else? You become hot. Ayan, medyo nanghihina ka na, you feel like you're so tired. And we are experiencing nowadays, right? Medyo mainit na yung weather condition natin. So here is another illness. It's more of hinihimatay, fainting. There you go. Why fainting? Because there's not enough blood flowing within our system. So the others tendency, nahihimatay na po yan, loss of consciousness for at least 2 hours. So 2 hours exposure to the environment. So with this, if there's no proper circulation in our body and we have current medical condition, it can actually trigger yung current na sakit natin, right? If you have heart attack, oops, it can trigger out. It's a heat stress. This is not a joke. Instead, it's a big issue on our end. So what do? Maybe we need to seek for medical help or medical attention already. So we must have to report this immediately. The best thing here would be we have to reduce the activity, reduce the exposure kung nasaan man yung environment na yun, or the best thing is to extract our employee dun sa mainit na environment natin. If they are still conscious, you have to make sure that we can give them water. But take note, sip of water lang po yung ibibigay natin. Not too much. Okay? Wag naman po yung dire-diretso. Make sure that they are alert, active, conscious, responsive. Otherwise, if we give them water directly, baka ma-choke pa yung mga yan. And it would be dangerous on their end. Pwedeng ikamatay ng mga taong tong mga to. Alright? So if this is one, itong mga heat stroke na to, more or less, if it's not being addressed, there you go, kung ito 2 to 3 hours, right? Then let's move on to the next, which is 3 to 6 hours. Ayan na. Palala na ng palala ang scenario natin. So for the 3 to 6 hours, we are starting to experience already what we call the heat cramps or heat exhaustion and heat exhaustion. So water is key to cooling the body and to combat also the heat stress. Because if we don't replace or we don't hydrate ourselves for prolonged period of time, there you go, magkakaroon na tayo ng iba't ibang signs and symptoms, particularly what we call the heat cramps and heat exhaustion. Okay. So ano nga ba ang nararamdaman natin pag meron po tayong tinatawag na heat cramps? Heavy sweating on our end. It's really draining. Ayan. Para kang nag-exercise ng 2 oras. Talagang diretso po tong mga to. Okay? So which we cannot replace. Unfortunately, with the heat cramps, we cannot replace this by just water itself. Kasi nga po, it's happening. It's coming out already inside our body. We are losing more electrolytes, what we call the sodium and our potassium. Okay. Why is this? Because once the sodium, as we perspire excessively inside our body, this is a natural reaction. Here comes the sodium and the potassium. Alright? Laging magkasama tong electrolytes na to. And other major electrolytes. Pero ito yung pinaka-major na to. So once we perspire, here comes the sodium. Kaya medyo maalat-alat po yung pawis natin. Okay? And here comes also the potassium. And potassium is responsible for our muscle functions. Okay? So when we say muscle function, that's why here comes the heat cramps. Kasi nga po, dehydrated na po tayo. So when we experience this, more or less, our extremities, we can't move it. It's the stiffness of our extremities. We have your hands, both hands, to include also your arm, your legs. Kasama po yan. Namamanhid na po yung mga yan. And take note, cramps are serious because this is a warning sign that we are already more or less super dehydrated, heat-induced illnesses na natin itong mga to. Palala na siya. Could you imagine this is for 3 to 6 hours already for prolonged exposure in that extreme environment that we have. So the best thing, move the person away from the extreme environment. Remove them out. Extract them out. Cool them out if we can. What is that? We can more or less give them heat, what do you call this? Cold compress. Ayan. Cold compress will come in and more or less, if we can replace it with water, more or less replace with electrolytes or hydrate them with water, go ahead. For as long, again, I have to emphasize, they must have to be alert, active, and conscious. Okay, there you go. As is this is one of the severe problem, let's move on to the next one. Yeah. See, so it's more of, ito yung mga nararamdaman natin headaches, muscle fatigue, pain. So, with the exhaustion that we have. So, once there's a cramps, ayan, hindi pa rin natin na-address yung mga iba't ibang symptoms na to, here comes your heat exhaustion. Mostly with the heat exhaustion, there you go, fluid imbalances inside our body. We can't cool off. We can't cool off already kung ano man yung mainit sa loob ng katawan natin, and still moist, sweating, excessive sweating is there. There are somehow imbalances also when it comes to the monitoring of our vital signs, particularly dito sa pulso natin. Medyo weak na yan. Medyo, minsan baka nahihirapan pa nga ang kapain yung mga yan, weak and thready. Normally, yes, normal to low blood pressure. Baka pababa na rin ang mga BP natin dito. And as you can see, they feel more or less weak, tired, confused. Sometimes they're really confused. And when you look at them, they would be mentioning they're dizzy already. Okay? Dizzy, take note. When it comes, make sure that the dizziness is related to the extreme environment. Because there are so many factors kung bakit nga naman nahihilo ang mga employees natin. Others, maybe they are low blood, high blood, last meal intake was yesterday, there you go, diabetic. So, and other all factors. Pero pag sinasabi niyang nahihilo siya or dizzy, she is experiencing dizziness because of the extreme temperature, there you go. That's, with that, we can categorize that as heat exhaustion. Okay. With the breathing also, more or less fast. They're having difficulty of breathing, extreme thirst, they're uncoordinated already, more or less confused and uncoordinated. You will be able to see also blurry vision on their end. So those are the signs and symptoms from the heat cramps. With the heat cramps, as you can see, it's the stiffness of the muscles, of the extremities that we have, both hands and feet. Dito sa heat exhaustion, ayan na, medyo nadadamay na po ang iba't ibang organs natin, iba't ibang systems natin. So the treatment here, seek for medical aid already. This is necessary. Okay? Why is that? Because if we don't get to address this one still, maglilid na po yan sa heat stroke. Heat stroke is a big issue. The individuals can actually die pag na-experience nila ang heat stroke. So more or less, there you go. What can we do for heat exhaustion? Move again to the cool environment. So it will vary from one area to another. So if you have your air-conditioned room, electric fan under the tree, go ahead, move them, remove them, extract them from the cold, from the heat environment or from the extreme environment that they have. And if you can more or less let them drink, it's okay. Next, on the preventive side, to avoid the reoccurrences in the future, more or less reduce the activity or the exposure that they are doing. So maybe it's more of scheduling also. If you would know na sobrang mainit pagdating sa hapon, maybe we have to reduce their activity. We have to give them some other job-related activities and advise them, encourage them to drink lots of water. All right. So this is for the heat exhaustion. And if we are going to compare that heat exhaustion, yeah, from the heat stroke, okay, kung titingnan natin, no, this is the worst part already of our heat stress. As we've mentioned, with the heat stroke, the person can die if it's not being addressed totally. So with this, kung dito on the heat exhaustion, the feeling of dizziness, on this part, it's throbbing headache. Really, the a painful headache. Talagang parang nababarena yung ulo natin dito. Okay? On the exhaustion, just to compare both, excessive sweating. On the other side, wala na. Hindi na kasi makapag-cool off yung katawan mo, so you will not be able to sweat already. If on this side, it's cool, clammy, or cold, clammy skin, there you go. So when we say cold, clammy skin, when you touch their skin, ayan, malamig-lamig po yan. Because for us, normally, if we perspire, as we touch our skin, you'll be able to feel that it's hot, right? But with the heat exhaustion signs and symptoms, there you go, cold, malamig-lamig ang mga balat ng mga to. And on the other side, on the heat stroke, as you can see here, there you go, extreme temperature. It will even reach to 39, 40, 41 degrees Celsius. So if it's on that elevated temperature, they are starting to experience already what we call the seizure. Nagdidelirium pa yung ibang mga individuals dito. So that's the difference when it comes to our stroke. So you can see here, nausea and vomiting, they're almost the same. On this part, weak pulse. Somehow we can't feel it. Very weak. On this part, on the heat stroke, sobrang bilis ng pulso naman. Okay? Why is that? It's a mechanism of our body to compensate. Kasi nga po nahihirapang mag-pump up. So tendency, it's more of bibilisan na ng system natin yan. So there you go. If here, muscle cramps here, dito naman po, loss of consciousness. So we have to watch out for this. We have to watch out for the heat stroke when it comes to with the signs and symptoms that they are experiencing. Ayan. There you go. According to Raymond from our Facebook, there you go. Sana pinauwi din yung AC sa office. Ayan. Okay, oo nga kasi working from home. There you go. So with that, what would be the best treatment for our heat stroke? More or less, we have to call already the ambulance because these individuals, we need to bring them to the hospital. As we all know, nagdidelirium, nagsi-seizure na po sila. They are experiencing that signs and symptoms. Okay? And this condition is a serious one. We have to take this seriously because the person can die if we don't address this immediately. All right. So again, in the future, reduction of workloads, classify the type of workloads that they have, lots of water, check also if they need help or maybe if they have the signs and symptoms. So with this one complete breakdown, we have to more or less check the individuals that every now and then, if somehow they are starting to complain about the signs and symptoms, maybe we have to seek for medical advice already. Baka ibang factor or some other factors can more or less pwedeng mag-lead yan to the serious condition. Having the extreme environment is not a joke on our end, lalo na sa Philippine setup po talaga. So those are the common illnesses na nai-experience natin if we are exposed to an extreme environment. So what do we do here? We have to watch out for the signs and symptoms, okay? More or less teach everyone that these are the steps, these are the illnesses na nai-encounter po natin. As we've mentioned earlier, 1 to 2 hours, here comes your heat rashes. Sundan pa yan ng sunburn, prolonged exposure, too much exposure. There you go. And as you move on, here comes, from succeeding to 3 to 4 hours, here comes the heat cramps. Heat cramps, this is easy kasi malalaman nyo po na, oops, is stiffness already of the extremities. And it's a serious warning anything because these heat cramps will lead already to heat exhaustion and heat stroke if we don't address it immediately. Okay. So if that's the case, ayan na po yung mga susunod na problem natin dito. Fainting, nahihimatay. These are all with the following three items, we need to seek medical advice or medical help immediately. So witness, we have to make sure, do your best. We have to do our best to extract them immediately in the extreme environment. Cool them off. Okay? Cold compress can help out. Yes, that you can put the cold compress in the armpit. That won't be a problem. Make sure that the ice is not directly being put on top of our skin. Bakit? Pag yung ice naman po diretso sa balat natin, this will lead to somehow burn. Kaya dapat we have our cold compress wrapped around with a clean hanky or with a clean clothing that we have. Keep that in mind. Kasi pag tinatagalan mo ang yelo sa balat natin, masusunog po yan. Burn effect din naman ang suffer natin dito. Alright? Next, more or less electrolyte, give them enough water, hydrate them off. We have so many types of drinks with electrolyte drinks, so pwede naman po nating inumin yon. And again, loosen also the tight garments or at the same time the clothing that they have if they are on this type of scenario. All right, so with those different illnesses that we've discussed, how do we control this? First and foremost, we highly encourage that during the extreme weather that we are experiencing, you have to drink water for maybe for 2 to 3 glasses or 1 to 2 glasses for every 15 to 20 minutes. This is advisable given that you don't have any water restriction, okay? Given that you don't have any water restriction coming from your doctors. If you are healthy, if you are okay, wala naman pong pinagbabawal sa inyo for water restriction, go ahead, hydrate yourself, especially during summertime. 2 to 3 glasses of water for 15 to 20 minutes can help you out. Right? So more or less, as mentioned earlier, you have to be conscious with what you're eating. Conscious on the food. Avoid hot, spicy, high in calories because this will raise your internal temperature, your internal body temperature, and mahihirapan siya with if it's affected, the more na mahihirapan for digestion. Okay, it's more of as the food is being digested inside our body, the more na magpa-pump out yan ng blood. And as we all know, pag nagpa-pump out yan ng blood, there you go, the more din na mahihirapan tayo if it's on a continuous basis. Okay? So another item that we will be checking here would be monitor your urine, the color of your urine. So as we all know, most industries, they put in there what would be the color of your urine. So if it's a clear urine, you are hydrated. You're okay. Properly hydrated ka. But then, once the color of your urine will turn out to be dark yellow, there you go, medyo dehydrated ka na nito. Dehydration comes in. So, mas advisable na clear urine yan rather than turning to dark yellow. Oops, you have to hydrate yourself. Okay. Another factor here would be it's the acclimatization. So with this is what we have first to get used to somehow, before changing into an extreme temperature, we have to more or less practice first our body with that temperature. Huwag muna nating bibiglain. Okay? With that, our body, it needs about 5 to 10 days to get used to that temperature. Kaya with the others, mostly if they will be like doing an activity in an extreme temperature, sobrang init ng panahon, they adjust. We have to give them time to adjust. And usually for a normal individuals, for us, 5 to 10 days. Ganun po yun. Because the moment The moment that you let them work already right away with an extreme temperature, there you go, the more na may experience nila yung iba't ibang health illness na na-mention natin. So instead of reducing the exposure for the hot job, you can become more or less you can more or less adjust first for a period of time. Yun naman po yung importante dito. Okay, there you go. So what do we do? What else can we do? We have to modify the work and the environment. So it's more or less a responsibility also within the company. The management and the health and safety committee can actually reduce the heat stress problems in our workplaces, right? Because as we've mentioned earlier, there you go, heat illnesses can be prevented. So with that, we have the following controls. More or less, control the heat source. So if we have like an insulation, or if we have like an air conditioning, okay, we use them. However, if we don't have that because we are working from home, let's just use the natural ventilation. Open your door, open your window, there you go. At least there's an airflow in an area. And utilize also your electric fan. It will help out to reduce the temperature, the extreme temperature, and it will cool down our environment. Okay, what else can we do more or less on the administrative control? Again, another factor because of the job monitoring, we have to monitor and more or less check our employees. So increase the frequency and length of break times. Ayan. So break times, if we know that because of the extreme environment that we have, maybe we can increase break times or maybe the frequency of break times. Dadagdagan po natin yung mga yan. That's part of the alternative administrative control that we can add up. Or maybe the rest breaks in betweens. Okay, if it's possible. Another thing, we try also to schedule jobs during the cooler times of the day. Okay, so maybe if we opt to do more job in the morning, yan, rather than doing it in the afternoon kasi mas mainit nga naman pagdating ng hapon. All right, there you go. There's a question. Hi, mom. For some people like me, we know that hot summer weather can trigger asthma. How can we manage asthma during summertime? Actually, that's correct. Even in a change of weather, right, Giancarlo? For me, to be honest, I'm experiencing also allergic rhinitis because of the change in temperature. So with that, we can only manage the signs and symptoms of asthma because this is already part of us. So it's more of avoidance with regards to the trigger factors that we have. Yun naman po ang importante na sinasabi natin because we are experiencing this type of weather condition. What can we do? It's more of avoidance. So ayan na po yung pwede nating i-include dito. And unfortunately, Sir John, with the change with the asthma that you are experiencing, ayan, it's a trigger point. So it's more of avoidance, checking already, alamin mo na okay, ito na nga pala yung weather condition natin ngayon. So what can you do? More or less, if you have the resources, if you have your air conditioned in your place, utilize them, or more or less use the natural ventilation. So as we've mentioned earlier, as an initial control. Okay? So there you go. Apart from scheduling your jobs or heavier jobs in the cooler times of the day, we can also provide drinking water. So at least cool it down, increase your water intake, and remind yourself that we have to drink water every now and then. There you go. How many, according to JP, how many glasses of water must be consumed to prevent hydration? Okay. They mentioned earlier that if we are somehow losing 5 quarts, that's 5 quarts of water for 1 to 2 hours, we have to replace it also for 5 liters. O, diba? Grabe yun, no? If that's for heavy workloads, you would know that that's for heavy workloads kasi nga mabibigat yung mga trabahong ginagawa nila. So for us, we highly advise that since we are on a type of workloads that is on a light workload, ito po yung mga nakaupo, sitting, few movement, we encourage you to drink 2 to 3 glasses for every 10 to 15 or 15 to 20 minutes. If you can increase it, why not? Mas okay naman po yung mga yon. Okay? There you go. Another heat controls that we can integrate would be workers should at least more or less if you will be exposed. Ayan, pag kayo, you would know that you will be exposed in some extreme, kung if you will run or maybe heavy workload or you will be adjusting to the heat environment, we advise you that workers with a low salt diet, more or less, you have to, workers should put or increase their salt. Okay? Medyo dagdagan natin ang salt. But, take note, ito po yung mga walang current medical conditions, because if you are hypertensive or any other problem, as you increase the salt intake, you're adding another problem. So make sure that you're going to seek medical advice muna. Okay? So you increase it kasi alam natin na pag mainit ang environment na pagtatrabahuhan mo, and more or less you're adding more salt to your body, ang nangyayari, what salt retains water inside our body, right? Tignan nyo, kumain po kayo ng chips, alright? If you tend to eat chips for today, later on or bukas, paggising nyo, feeling nyo para kayong bloated. Because nagre-retain po ng salt ang katawan natin. Alright? There you go. So again, what else can we do? Assign additional workers if this is possible. If we can add more for the teamwork, for the team cooperation of everyone, and at least slow down also the pacing of the work. Lalo na kung mabibilis yung mga yan. Okay? And what else? Body system. There you go. Someone should always be with you, so that in case that we will be experiencing, we know that people will always notice the signs and symptoms, and people will always more or less report it to someone else. Okay? What else? Train. This is important. You must have to know, or everyone must have to know, the signs and symptoms, or ano na nga ba ang nai-experience ko ngayon. So train the workers to recognize the signs and symptoms of heat stress. This is important. Is this a sign of a heat stress, or sign po ba yan ng current medical condition to ko? So you will be able to differentiate it. In that case, it can help you out to give an immediate action on our body. Okay, there you go. Make sure also that pregnant individuals, pregnant workers will seek medical condition, especially during weather condition na mainit. Okay, always consult the medical advice. You will also, another factor that we are adding up here would be light clothing. You can use light clothing. Cotton, mas maganda rin po yun. Should be worn at least freely, not too tight also on our body, so that it can move. I mean, it's easy for us to move. And at least whenever we sweat, evaporation. Mas madali po siyang mag-evaporate. Okay? If you're outside, better wear light-colored clothing. There you go. But then, bawal nga po lumabas, okay? So, sa loob na lang po kayo ng bahay. And what else? Ice cold, insulating, or more or less, it's the air condition, if this is possible on our workplaces. Ayan. So, those are the heat stress, heat illnesses that we will be encountering because of the extreme temperature that we have. However, as mentioned earlier, these are all preventable. So, pwede naman po nating iwasan yung mga yan. Okay, do we have more questions on our box? I'm just checking. If you have some questions, just kindly post it on our chat box para ma-address po natin yan immediately. Ayan. There you go. Very common, itong heat stress na problem. And the important factor here, we really have to teach, or we really have to inform all our colleagues kung ano yung mga iba't ibang symptoms na mai-experience nila. Ano nga ba itong mga mararamdaman nila because of the heat, because of the extreme environment that we have. So teach them the different signs and symptoms, heat rash, sunburn, heat cramps, even though these are on the mild side. If we tend to take this for granted, in the long run, magli-lead na po yan to exhaustion, to heat cramps and heat stroke. So watch out. Wag na nating paabutin dito sa side na to. Instead, more or less at the very early stage, encourage them. Hydrate themselves. Water is the best thing. Ayan. Kaya laging may tubig sa workplaces natin, right? And it's part of our welfare facilities, because everyone we have, I mean, the welfare facilities more or less, because this is part of your, within your workplace. You do your task, heavy workload, so uminom po tayo. Hydrate ourselves. All right? There you go. So any more questions? So if you have more question, we can address them. There you go. Ayan, pa-post po. Again, thank you so much, Cognizant Philippines. Thank you for always supporting all your employees when it comes to the health programs within your company. Yes. Ito po yung company talaga na on a monthly basis, they really have to make sure that all the employees are well informed. They really integrate the different health programs every now and then. And you're lucky for this one. Ayan. One of the best. Ayan, thank you so much. There you go. So we would like to say thank you to all the Cognizant Philippines. Maraming salamat po, Signer Quest. This is coming from us on behalf of Signer Quest. Thank you so much. And to all our FB viewers via FB, there you go. Without Cognizant, sila po ang nag-sponsor na to. So thank you so much. Ayan. So do you have any other questions? There you go. So if you don't have any questions, I would like to say thank you to each and every one. Maraming salamat mo. Again, let's all work safely. Ingat po kayo. Good night.
birthday, sign request. Happy birthday, sign request. Happy birthday, dear signer.
If you